Tiffany here with the Peterborough Chamber of Commerce. We're live at the breakfast table this morning. I'm pretty excited about it. We have Nicole Cooke from Organized by Design joining us this morning. Good morning, Nicole. How are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for inviting me, Tiffany. This is so exciting. I get to have breakfast with Tiffany in the morning. It doesn't get any better than that.
My pleasure. I know I really wanted to call it breakfast at Tiffany's, but I thought maybe there was a line that we'd be crossing.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today. Of course, live at the breakfast table, ChamberAM is happening next week, Tuesday the 13th, 8 a.m. You're going to be our guest speaker. I'm really grateful. You have lots and lots to offer when it comes to entrepreneurship, navigating life, career changes, getting organized from business to personal. You can kind of speak to a lot of different topics. So I'm excited to hear about you. First things first, I guess. Let's talk about breakfast before we get started. I have to say, we have some really.
Can you see? I don't know how. I don't want to tip it. Here, I'll tip my. There. Can you see that? Like that is a work of art, right?
Beautiful. And if you haven't guessed it, Delectable Fine Foods was our delivery today. They do everything. Their cheeses, their charcuterie options. They have all these different choices of balsamic vinegars and olive oils. If you haven't checked out Delectable Fine Foods on Lansdowne, you definitely need to go check it out. I'm going to open up my little box here. I think we got a croissant too. Is that correct?
We did. There it is. I put some homemade preserves with it here. You know what? I love Delectable Fine Foods, and before I started my business, I was working at the Lake Distributing, which is used to be just down off of Lansdowne Street, and so Delectable Fine Foods was one of my go-to lunch spots, and like wonderful grilled cheese sandwiches, wonderful soups, and actually just a few months ago it was my brother's birthday, and I called and I said, I need a cheese gift bag. I said, we don't need a basket. He's a guy, he doesn't want the basket, but could you do me up a cheese gift bag? And they did this beautiful gift bag with the tissue and everything with all different types of cheeses in it. It was just spectacular. Went in and just picked it up and gave it to my brother, and he was thrilled. So yes, so they do lovely gifts as well.
Honestly, I can be trusted to do many things. I could not be trusted to work at Delectable Fine Foods. You'd be rolling me home every night because I'd be stuffed full of cheese. I just want to take a look at our little croissant. Oh my God, she makes these beautiful.
Yeah.
My dog's barking. That doesn't happen often.
Oh.
Look, she's good.
Maybe somebody's at your door.
Someone was just out front. So I had another little business plug before I got into our questions, because of course we always drink coffee in the morning when we do our interviews. Ricart's promo found out that I didn't have a branded Chamber of Commerce mug. I don't know if you can see it because the reflection there, but they branded one for me and dropped it off.
That's so nice.
Right? Check out Ricart's. I know a few people have had some custom orders from them too. They wanted to do like special things for their families, and they've worked it out with Ricart. So we love Ricart's. We love Delectable Fine Foods, and of course, we love local businesses, business owners, leaders. Let's get to live at the breakfast table. Nicole, let's eat breakfast. Let's chat.
As long as you promise to tell me if there's anything in my teeth when I'm eating, okay?
I have your back, and we'll edit that in.
Perfect.
So Organized by Design, Nicole Cooke. If you're not familiar with who Nicole is, Nicole, can you give us a little snapshot? Who are you? What do you do?
Sure. So I offer professional organizing services to both residential and commercial clients. So if you are, a homeowner and you're just feeling like, oh my goodness, I have too much clutter, I'm not really sure how to manage this, I can come in and help and offer some suggestions, and I can also help do the work as well. If you're moving, I can help come in and pack. I can coordinate your move for you with movers and cleaners and all of that. And then on the commercial side, I also work with businesses, and I help them with process redesign and just streamlining systems to make sure that they are operating as efficiently as they can. So that's in a nutshell, what I do.
Excellent. It's really neat that you can go into someone's space and sort of figure out good, efficient processes to do things, kind of eliminate the things that don't move the needle, right?
Absolutely.
So first question I always ask is, why did you choose Peterborough to do business?
So I mean, what isn't to love about the Kawarthas, first of all, right? It's such a beautiful place to live and a beautiful place to work. We actually, my husband and I live in Ennismore now. And so, going to work in the morning and coming home, it was like, you're going to work, driving across a lake to get to work, and then driving across a lake to get home from work. I mean, it's fantastic. But I was born and raised here in Peterborough, and my dad was a business owner. He was a barber, and Tony's Barber and Styling Salon. He cut a lot of people's hair in Peterborough over the 40 years he had a shop, or 35 years he had a shop. So I grew up in a home with, seeing an entrepreneur running a business successfully and, doing a lot of volunteer work. And you saw how Peterborough supported that by, coming into his shop, and it just, you just saw how that all kind of fit together. You volunteer your time, you start a business, and Peterborough supports that. Peterborough really supported entrepreneurs, people that wanted to start a business to help their family. And my dad emigrated from Italy when he was 12. So I mean, he didn't, he wasn't from here. He had to learn the language, and so for Peterborough to do that for him was really, really very special. So when my husband and I was actually working up in Barrie for the Quaker Oats Company, and had an opportunity to move back to Peterborough, and I was really excited because it was really the kind of place where, you want to live, you want to raise a family. And I knew that, the business community was just fantastic here. So when it came time for me to venture into having my own full-time business, there was no question. This was really where I wanted to do it, because I knew I would have the support of lots of other entrepreneurs, lots of other business owners who, it's not competitive. Everyone just wants everyone to succeed, and people just, they say people leave, but then they come home to roost. Like, everyone leaves Peterborough and then they come back. And it's so true. And I have siblings that did that, moved away and came back. And so, yeah, it's just a great place to work. It really, truly is.
Makes my heart explode, because everybody knows I'm a transplant. I was not born and raised here, but I chose to make here my home. And out of all of the interviews I do, the amount of people that have left for a few years, but they always come back to PTBO Canada, the Kawarthas. You're right. It's beautiful. It's really neat that to see how entrepreneurs breed other entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
Like, you kind of grow up in that space, and you just, take it on, and you're going to do it too. So really, really neat. I love that your dad, Tony the barber, in town. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So entrepreneurship, it's in your blood, but so when it comes to getting organized in business, kind of in personal, what can a professional organizer do? What can you do for me?
Well, so for you, so let's say, you gave me a call and you said, you know what, I'm just feeling my house is just feeling chaotic. Like, I just, seemed like I can't seem to get a handle on things. There's stuff piling up places. That's where I would come in. And the secret really to what I do is asking questions. I can come in or anybody can come into your house and do a tidy and bring in some bins and box a bunch of stuff up and put it in the corner, or put it in the attic, put it in the basement. I don't find that that's very effective, because you need to look at how you live, and every family lives differently, and everyone has different systems that they're using. And some of those systems work really well and some don't. So what I do is I ask a lot of questions to find out, hey, how does your family work? Like, how do you and your husband operate on a day-to-day basis? And I analyze that, and then I look at how your home is configured, and I look at where the pain points are for you, the things that drive you crazy the most. Maybe it's, the mudroom seems to be, we just can't, we walk in and we're tripping over shoes, or, the pantry, there's all kinds of expired food all the time because it's just getting thrown in everywhere. So I look at those things, and then I come up with a plan. And then we talk about the plan, and we talk about what systems we need to change. So it's not just about the tidy, it's about looking at, do you need to do something a little differently? Do you need to tweak something? So, because ultimately, if I set something up and it's not the right system for you, it's a waste of your time, my time, and your money, right? And that's not what I want. I want to be able to come back into a customer's home 6 months later, and they're still feeling great about it. They're still feeling they can maintain it. It's about the maintenance. It's not about the one-shot deal. So that's really what I do is work on those systems with families. And sometimes it's one cupboard. Like, people are calling me to say, I just need help with my pantry, or I just need help with my garage or my mudroom. Often it ends up being the entire house. So it isn't necessarily all at once. They may call and say, okay, let's work on this area. And then 2 months later, they're calling and saying, yeah, now can you come back and help me with the toy room? Or now can you come back and help me with, the bathroom? Just, I can't seem to get a handle on all the stuff in the bathroom or whatever. So yeah, so that's in a nutshell how I can help you. So it's really about figuring out how you operate and making sure that I create a system that will work for you. 80% of what I do is psychological, 20% is physical work. It's mostly about getting into people's heads and figure out how they think and how they operate. So yeah, so lots of questions.
Yeah, and I feel like with being a professional organizer, or thinking about calling in a professional organizer, there might be like some misconceptions, and we're really missing the point that you're almost unpacking more than you're packing up and putting away. So really interesting, and it makes sense kind of when you step back and look at it, that having those organization processes help declutter the brain, help with wellness, and they help give a sense of control too, right?
Absolutely. And I'm going to talk more about that at ChamberAM, sort of the psychology behind decluttering and being organized, and stress and anxiety, and how that all fits together.
Neat. Yeah. And it's not just your kitchen cupboards or your attic or your basement. It's your workstation. It's your processes that you've got in place too. Really. And you see, you're really passionate about this. It is obvious. Anytime that I've talked to you or sort of seen you in action, and I have to know, like, who inspired you to become a professional organizer, or what inspired you?
Well, it's funny. So when I was in elementary school, I used to ask to stay in for recess to organize the supply room. So I would go in and make sure that all the glue was in one place, and there was always like construction paper all over the floor, and that would just drive me bananas. Like, I'd have to get it all picked up. And then, do you remember when they used to have like the construction paper? It would be like the colored multi-packs. That wasn't okay in my world. Like, I needed to have all the red together, all the blue together, all the orange. So I would sit there every recess and separate them all so that they all were in their own little cubbies by color. And so who inspired me? I don't know. It's like, it's in my DNA, because it goes back to elementary school, that's the way my brain operated. And so when I actually started out, I went to school for teaching, was how I started. And then I switched midstream into business, because all of my jobs, my part-time jobs, have been in sales. And I already, when I was 19, started my first side hustle, and it was a direct sales company that I worked for. So I sort of was like, okay, not teaching, need to get into business. So my first full-time job was with the Quaker Oats Company. And so actually Neil Morton so Neil Morton's dad was the one that hired me. He was the president. Yes, he was the president at the time, and we were on a board together, the board of governors at Fleming College, and got to know each other. So anyway, moved up to Barrie in sales, and then an opportunity came up in head office here in Peterborough, they were starting a new department, and that department was designed to help redesign other departments within Quaker. So they asked me if I would come and work in that department because I had a sales background. They were trying to get someone from sales, someone from logistics, someone from marketing, someone from finance. And so essentially what I was doing was I was going to other departments and helping them become more efficient. So I was looking at what they were doing and figuring, okay, how can we do this easier for you because you're maxed out? How can we make it so that you're not having to spend, 18 hours a day at your desk and still get the work done in a reasonable amount of time, still be able to take lunch, but still actually not only, get your job done, but have it done even better than what you were doing before. So that was really like this, oh, okay, I really, really like this. And then all the other jobs that followed kind of had some of that within them, where I was doing space planning. In college, I worked in the facilities department, and I coordinated all the office moves and the Portha Trades and Technology Center, that build. And then went on to At the Lake Distributing for my good friends, Jason and Nicole and helped them with redesigning some of their systems as they were growing. And so eventually I was like, you know what, like, I really want to do my own thing. And I looked at every job I'd ever had since I was 16. And I thought, what were the things I loved about every single job? And what were the things I didn't like? Because everyone kept saying, you know what, go into sales. Like, you're so great at sales. But I thought, that's not really what I'm really passionate about. And so I looked at everything and I designed a company and picked the best and of the things, and then the stuff I didn't like, I farm out, and get other people to do that stuff that I don't like to do. And so basically at 49, I started a brand new career, which was a little scary at that stage when people are starting to think about retiring, and I'm just starting a business at 49. But it's been fantastic. Pandemic aside, it's been fantastic. So yeah, I don't really know if there was one person, but it definitely was, I was just put in the right jobs along the way that helped me develop some of those skills that I loved what I did in all those companies.
So interesting how life takes you on this path, right? And you pick up, and if you're in tune, enough, you kind of discover, oh, wait, no, I love this. This is what I want to be. This is living, right? Is
Yeah.
doing that work. Holy, and we dropped so many chamber members in this meeting today. I love it. I love it. We're gonna have to tag all of them. That's like awesome. You're quite the chamber member connected woven in here.
Well, and you know what the interesting thing was, in all the places I worked, I also designed my own position. And I think that was something else I really did. And it was really a conversation I had with Jason Polchinski at ATL. We were talking about, he said, you know what, you need to be your own boss. And I'm like, I know, yeah, like that's because I'd always had a side hustle all my life. And in all the companies I worked for, I was hired to do one thing, and then I morphed it into something else. And so it was like that was all just leading up to me developing my own company. So yeah, so here I am.
It's inspiring, like it's exciting. It's exciting just to hear you talk about it. It's inspiring. It really is that you found, and you weren't scared. You were like, let's do this. Yeah, whatever. Maybe I'll be thinking about retirement soon, but I'm living right now, and let's start this business.
Absolutely. Life is too short to not do what you love. And I can remember saying to my parents, it was when I was in post-secondary, I said, you know what, I'm never going to stay in a job I don't like. And because you see people that, stay in a job and they really don't like it, but, they're kind of sucked into the pension, or, they got lots of great vacation time. So like, I really don't want to give that up, but they hate going to work every day. And I didn't ever want to be that person. And I never have been. And when I moved on from companies, it wasn't because I didn't look at my job. It was more that there was, another opportunity that it was like, okay, I feel like I've done what I can here, and now I'm going to move here. They were all fantastic places to work. So yeah, it's been really a fantastic journey in my career. I love everything I've done. There isn't a job I've ever hated.
It's grow time. I always love that. You know, you get to a point where you've spread as much as you can grow, and then it's time to branch off and explore something else. I absolutely love it. It was really interesting. You said that people initially were saying you're really good at sales, you should be doing sales, but what they're not cluing into is you're actually really good at relationships. And so it makes complete sense that you would thrive in organizing, where you have to build a relationship, get to know them, to be able to help them implement processes that are really going to change their lives. So sort of speaking about sales and shopping, I have to know, Nicole, where are you shopping lately? Where's your favorite place to grab food? Where are you getting some retail therapy? Let's shout out some businesses.
You know what? Okay, so food. I am all about food. I do love food, but there's lots of. I mean, in the Peterborough area, there's so many great restaurants, right? And you know, you don't have to, when you're going out to dinner, you don't have to go to a fast food place. There's so many great options in the Peterborough area. But I think I sort of have two that tend to be our go-tos. We're a family of five. So in Peterborough, La Hacienda. Sandra is so lovely, and actually our kids went to school together. Her son and my daughter went right from JK up through high school. Just a lovely family, and you know, we all love the food. We love eating in on the patio. We actually did it last week. My daughter graduated from grade 12, and there we were in the rain, and they're bringing all the umbrellas out because my daughter picked. She said, "No, Mom, we have to go to La Hacienda for graduation day." But we also do great takeout from there too. So you know, Sandra and her team there, definitely for in town. And in the county, Jesse's Tap and Grill, Jason and Nikki Julian, right up the street. We live just up the street. We can walk there. And you know, they just have fabulous food. Chef Val, Chef Sean. I mean, they're great, great family restaurant. All homemade foods, and they're just lovely people. Like, they do so much in the community, Jason and Nikki, and you just want to support their business because they support everything going on. So they would be my in town and out of town.
I love it. Yes, you got to get Peterborough County. Yes, I agree. Totally. Absolutely. Good choice. I heard that Jesse's Tap and Grill, did they used to have music when they could have music, right?
And they do now, because we can hear it. We're like right behind them, right? So it's so great because they've got the patio, of course, they're allowed to open. So now you can hear music on the patio now, and it's great. It's just nice to see. It's really great to see businesses who figured out a way to navigate through the past year and a half and stay afloat. I mean, let's face it, you know, restaurants aren't thriving, but you know, a lot of them have found a way to stay afloat, and that was so amazing to see restaurants be able to do that, you know. And there again, see, that's Peterborough, that's our area. It's how we support businesses, because these are our neighbors, these are our friends that have these businesses, so we want them to succeed.
We rally.
That's it, exactly.
We for our Business Excellence Awards this year, because we had seen, so we always see that, but it was just really under a microscope, was how much Peterborough businesses, Peterborough County, how everybody is just rallying to support each other, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It is amazing. It is amazing that in some communities, restaurants are competing against each other, right? And ours don't. Like, frequently I see our restaurant owners going and dining at other restaurant owners and tagging them and sharing things. And at one point I worked for a business. I worked for one of the top spas. Of course, we all know where I used to work, but we at Euphoria. Technically you have these competitors, but it's really not. When you run out of something and you need help, or you got to call, and like, it was amazing how you could call other spa owners, other like businesses, and kind of bounce ideas off of each other, or figure something out, or source something together. It's just, You're right. Peterborough is a beautiful, beautiful community for rallying and getting behind each other. I love it. So you, Nicole, you're just amazing. I could literally listen to you talk for hours. I'm pumped for next week. Chamber
I
AM
am too.
Tuesday the 13th, 8 a.m. And can you share maybe just a little snapshot of what you might be sharing with us at Chamber AM? I know you touched on it earlier, but I thought we could take a second.
So I was thinking about, like, when you asked me if I wanted to speak, first of all, I was like, what would anyone learn from me? Like, why would anyone want to hear me? And then I thought, you know what, I'm a professional organizer. Everyone wants organizing tips. So I am going to touch on a few tips for home and also a few things for business as well. And also, you know, like I mentioned, the whole psychology behind it, because when I work with my clients and I explain to them some of the psychology, it makes sense to them, and they understand why things are the way they are in their life. And it isn't just necessarily about the space and the stuff. It could be the time management piece. It could be, you know, there's lots of other things that we work on. So yeah, so the psychology part, I'm going to talk a little bit about that, as well next week. So yeah, hopefully people can pick up some ideas and, you know, maybe get their office space organized, or their home organized, or just their life organized.
I am definitely going to bring my notepad. You'll definitely have bits of gold, nuggets of gold, I think Neil Morton likes to call it, in that presentation. So join us, get registered, check out Nicole, follow Organized by Design, Facebook, Instagram. And Nicole, if we want to reach out to you now, because we're a bit curious, how do we get a hold of you? What's the best way? Website?
So yeah, so I do have a website, and it's Organized by Design. It's actually .co, not .com. If you want to send me an email, it's Nicole@organizedbydesign.co. And my cell number is 705-313-9522. So you can always give me a call or send me a text.
Excellent. Chamber AM, Nicole, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, well, thank you, Tiffany. This has been a lot of fun.
I think so too. I'm going to finish my breakfast. Delectable Fine Foods, we love you. If you haven't tried their cheese, you really, really, really need to go. This weekend, go right now. Stop what you're doing. Go to Delectable Fine Foods. And big shout out to all of the chamber members that we name dropped in this meeting today. Thank you, Nicole. Get registered. Chamber AM, 8 a.m., Tuesday the 13th. I'll put the links in the post itself. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye, Nicole.